John Fedro here with mobilehomeinvesting.net. Thank you so much for watching. In this video, we're going to be talking about something extremely important that I'm going to take a very educated guess and say that this is something that is absolutely going to happen to you. We always try to put good renters, good tenant buyers into our properties. They have good jobs. There's usually a family contributing, their paychecks to the family, so it's not just one person working for the household. They're respectable, good credit, hardworking, just like you, honest, friendly, upfront, no evictions, no major criminal history, etc. So we want to go ahead and make sure those people move into our rental properties or the properties that we're selling rent to own. Now, with that said, what we're going to be talking about here today is an outline of these 4 bullet points that I want to make sure that you hit. After we go on these this outline with the 4 bullet points, I want you to hear firsthand. We have a 20-minute recorded call. There was a renter that we had, a renter, not a tenant buyer, but a renter for a mobile home on private land. He called my partner Victor, said he wouldn't be able to make his payment last month. So we went ahead and called him back. And let's talk about now the 4 things that you want to make sure when you're talking to that tenant or that tenant buyer for the very first time. They're admitting to you, okay, I won't be able to make the payment. Here's why. Here's what I think. Here's the excuses. Here's my thoughts. It's that whole conversation. So with that said, the first thing, let me grab a magic marker here. So the first thing I want to mention is the first thing you have to do is to just get clarity. Now this is clarity for you, and if you've seen a lot of my videos, you know that I am big on clarity. So you have to understand what's going on. Please, Mr. Tenant Buyer, Mrs. Renter, please tell me what happened. What's changed since the last time that we talked? And it depends. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they broke their leg. Maybe they have to go out of town. Maybe somebody died and they just are temporarily having to use some money to do something else, or their car broke down. But get an understanding of what happened. Also, is this 2 months into the relationship that you just sold them this home, or you're renting them this home? Or is this 2-3 years down the road? You'd obviously be a little bit more flexible if they were on-time payers for the last 1, 2, or 3 years. So just the clarity for yourself to understand what's happened. Now the next thing to outline, really on this phone call, I mean this is the phone call where you don't have to beat around the bush. You're going to be very firmly expressing, okay, this has happened, act like you've been there before, and we know what's going on, so it's going to be you taking a very professional, non-emotional understanding of first what happened, get clarity on the situation. Bad things happen to good people. Also, maybe, they tricked you and these people are drug addicts and they spent all their money on drugs or gambling. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, that's definitely for sure. So clarity for you, and I'll make a mention of that. So that's clarity for you to understand what the heck is going on. Now the second thing is the repayment plan. Now don't let this go over, say, stay under 2 weeks. Okay, so and you'll listen to on this audio recording, you'll hear that the gentleman that we have in the home, Jeffrey, wanted to go ahead and actually wait a couple of weeks to find a job and then pay us back. Now jobs take a while to, get your first paycheck, so we had to make a realistic plan. Jeffrey, do you have money in savings? Do you have something you can pawn? Do you have a job prospect? How many job prospect? Do you have government money coming to you? And if you did have a job prospect or government money coming to you, or a lawsuit settling or something, we need to see proof by this 2 weeks. Or we need to have the money in our bank account. So make sure that you set a repayment plan that's reasonable. Okay, very reasonable. Even you'll hear Jeffrey here in a little bit when we go on this call, and you'll hear that he didn't have a job lined up. So that already told me, listen, he doesn't have savings, he doesn't have a job lined up. That's kind of a recipe for he's going to be out unless something happens, unless he does find a job, he does get some money, he is able to borrow the money. And unless he's borrowing the money, that's probably not a long-term fix. So he really does need a good job in order for it to be a long-term fix. So repayment plan, and don't let it go longer than 2 weeks. This has happened to me countless of times where I say to a renter or a tenant buyer, you know, they say, John, I need 1 more week. I need 1 week. I'll have the money for you. My boss couldn't pay me last week. He's going to pay me this week. Okay, that's fine. That week goes by. John, I'm sorry. I need 1 more week. I had to put my money to my car and because I couldn't go to work otherwise, and I need a job to pay you. So I just need 1 more week, and then 1 more week. And as a real estate investor, the person listening to my voice right now, you're probably a very nice, warm, kind-hearted person. You think people are, you know, relatively like you, and if you were down and out, you'd be honest enough to say, listen, I really do need a helping hand. I'm a good person, a hard worker. I want to pay you for this home, but, you know, I just need a little bit more time. Well, not everyone is like you, so it's so important that we can go ahead and extend a friendly gesture to say, yes, we will give you these 2 weeks. However, keep in mind, and I hope you can see this, that if this is a spectrum, this is what the tenant buyers want, which is to like maybe not pay you or just, you know, get 3 weeks before they can pay you without any late fees. And then you want all your money now, or for them, the tenant or the tenant buyer, to simply leave. Well, here's the middle. We try to go ahead and accompany the tenant buyer, so we're probably right around here with our concessions, which means that we do give people 2 weeks. I mean, that's a lot. Like if you talk about a bank or if you talk about another type of private lender, you may not get those 2 weeks. So we try to work with people if they're good, hard-working folks. So we do want to make sure that we give them a concession, but it's definitely with a 2-week time or a 1-week time. And then after that, we need to explain the eviction process. And it's typically what I explain to people is a 3 to 10 day notice, depending on the state, depending if you're mailing them this 3-day notice or an 8-day notice, or if you're delivering it to them in person or nailing it on the door. They have to understand that, listen, this is to cover our butt. We're going to send this to you now. It's a 3-day notice or 5-day or 7-day, depending on your state, and it's going to say, pay the back rent, or we have to evict you. And that is true, but after the 3 or 10 days, we don't have to evict right away. We just have to post this on your door, Mr. Tenant Buyer or Mr. Tenant. We have to post this on your door before we do the eviction. So we're going to do this now. Hopefully you'll pay us back in those 2 weeks, but if not, we have this to cover our butt. That way when the 2 weeks comes up, if we haven't heard from you, you haven't made any payments, we're not moving forward, we have to move forward legally. Because I don't want it to happen where 1 week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, the sellers or the buyers telling you something, but really they're doing something in the background. They're trying to find a new place to live. They're just skirting you along or dragging you along. You're making the lot rent payments, you're paying any other sort of debt service, and then they go ahead and leave the home in the middle of the night, and then now obviously you have to pay 1 or 2 months lot rent, and you have to resell the home, maybe re-clean it. So make sure that you understand the repayment plan and explain the 3 to 10 day notice. That should be a very serious part of the conversation. Again, it's not emotional, it's all logic based, and you'll see from this phone call just how we present that. Very amicably, very realistically. Obviously, if you can't pay Mr. Tenant Buyer, you can't stay. And then the fourth thing is to make sure, kind of what we've been talking about, is the clarity. And that's for the tenant buyer or the tenant. They need to understand that, listen, they may still be a good recommendation. You know, you'll still give them a good referral. You're not mad at them. Bad things happen to good people. You know, they should always keep in communication with you, but they should understand if they don't pay, you will quickly evict. So by this point, you need to understand, and you can hear this at the end of the phone call with Jeffrey, this 20-minute recorded phone call that we're going to go to here in just a few seconds. But you're going to hear how I let him know, listen, it sounds to me that you may not be able to pay. So if that's the case, we're going to go ahead and go through with the eviction, but I'll let you know way before that we're going to go through with it. That way we can come to an understanding and maybe even give you a couple $100 or $100 to leave the home clean if you can leave early in the month. That way we have the next few weeks to go ahead and sell it before the next month comes due. So again, clarity for yourself, understand what's going on, set a repayment plan that's valid and have a date to it, 1 week, ideally 2 weeks maximum, with no conditions past that. They need to tell you, okay, you know your budget much better than me, Mr. Renter, Mr. Tenant Buyer. When can you pay? When do you think that you'll have it? And then be quiet and let them tell you. So if they miss this, then you need to understand the 3 to 10 day letter that they're going to get to either pay the past due amount or get out of the home. Remember, you do this today, okay, as soon as they're behind. You don't wait till the 2 weeks, you do this today. That's going to put a little bit more motivation for the renter or the tenant buyer to pay. And then the last thing is clarity. Clarity of moving forward. Listen, if this doesn't happen, here's what's going to happen. And it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. No one's going to die. No one's going to, be angry at each other. It's just what's going to happen. And we don't want to evict. We'd rather give you some money, maybe a little bit of time to get out. But we have to be very upfront, and we will evict very quickly if we need to. So it's a very serious phone call. It's a very heartfelt phone call. Again, bad things happen to good people. Nobody wants to get evicted. Nobody wants to be in a situation where they have to call their landlord and tell them that this is happening. But when you can talk to a renter or a tenant buyer in a logical and adult manner, and then set a payment plan for them, explain what's going to happen, and then give them clarity moving forward, they will understand. They'll have understanding and clarity moving forward. They already have a lot on their plate with regards to they have to find a new job, they're behind on payments, they're probably behind on payments not just to you but other people. So we shouldn't beat up or strong arm or make anybody feel bad here. We just have to understand, listen, if you can't pay, leave the home clean and we won't go after you. Just call us, let us know, give us back the keys. Maybe we'll even give you some money if you can leave the home like really nice, broom swept, vacuumed, etc. So now I want you to hear and really listen to this 20-minute phone call, because you'll hear that during this phone call, I'm not the smoothest person anyway. I stop, I take pauses, I'm thinking about what I want to say. I mean, Jeffrey's obviously in a sort of a down and out situation here, so I'm not trying to add any more burden to his plate, but I do want to bring clarity to exactly what's happening moving forward. So if you have any questions or concerns watching this, or rather listening to this call, it's going to be a blank screen, so feel free to go about doing other things that you might be doing online right now, and then have this playing in the background. It's about 20 minutes, but all valuable content and good stuff to know. So that's what happened. Actually, an update to this, I will tell you after this call, because that actually happened last month, and we do have sort of a finalized what actually happened with all this. So watch this video and then we'll come right back.
Hello.
Hi, Jeffrey. This is John Fedro with Management Group giving you a call.
Hello, John?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I just caught the back end of this thing. I apologize. I was talking with my human resource director at a company here. I apologize. I didn't mean to. I hope I didn't cut you off.
No apologies necessary. Please tell me, Victor clued me in a little bit on what's going on, and I've talked to Rob.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit of what's going on, or how's, yeah.
Yes, sir. Pardon me if I start breaking down. I have no stress. I have a ton of stress going on right now.
Well,
I got laid off from my job. I got laid off from my job probably about 4.5 weeks ago. I've been busting my hump looking for a new one, and I've had several opportunities to get a new job. Well, in the meantime, my truck had broke down. And I had the money to cover all my bills for this coming month, but I wasn't going to be able to get a new job unless I get my truck fixed. You see what I'm saying?
I follow you so far.
So I've had my truck to 3 mechanics, okay? 3. Not one of them can figure out what was going on with my vehicle. My dad told me, I was talking with my dad about it, he told me I needed to take it to a dealership, because the scanners that the mechanics use ain't all in certain codes. You need to take them to a dealership. Well, in the meantime, I've spent all my money trying to get my truck fixed so I could get to work and so on and so forth. And like I was telling Victor, man, I've been on time every month, man, and I guess I'm asking for a little bit of help, and I ain't asking for help.
Sure.
I never asked for help.
Well, I think everyone deserves help. You've been on time, like you said. You've been on point. You've always, called, alerted us if there's an issue. Obviously, it's the first and payments due today. But bad things happen to very good people. So this is not the first time that this has happened, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. With that said, though, we'd like to obviously extend the olive branch, so to speak. However, this is typically what we do in these situations, and let me tell you not to stress anymore or worry about it, because not knowing is probably the worst thing. So I'm glad that we know this now, and here's what we can do, how we can protect ourselves, how we can sort of meet you in the middle. Victor told me something about, you had mentioned a sort of a 2-week time frame that you need to get some.
I think if I could get I just got done talking with him again. I've been bugging this guy every day because I've had 2 interviews with him already. And I've been hammering this guy every morning. Every morning I call this fella and let him know, look, man, I need to get to work. I'm ready to come to work for you folks. I cannot wait for unemployment to kick in. Obama has this thing now where it's got to go through this and that. Unemployment's not going to cover my bills. Well, I need to be working. Plain and simple.
Now, even if you start working today, typically most employers are two weeks out for your first check. Is that right?
And like I was telling Victor, man, I will pay all the late fees. I will do what I have to do to make it right with you folks.
Well, here's what we're thinking. So in the past, and I want to try to ask you enough questions so I can put myself in your shoes. And bottom line, Jeff, you got to do what's right for you, and vice versa. But I want to hear your situation and hear the prospects that you have. And then on the other side, here's typically what we do. So in the past, we've given extensions, and people have taken advantage. We'll give like a 2-week extension, and then a day or two prior to that extension deadline, we'll get another call with a reason that it has to be extended another week and another week. So by the time that, lo and behold, the resident or the tenant buyer moves out, now we're 1 month behind, and then we have to process an eviction, which will take in Texas another 3 to 4 weeks. So here's what we're going to do, and let me know that this makes sense or not. But we're going to go ahead and mail you a 5-day notice, which says, and that's to cover our ass. We're going to mail you that today, and that it's a 5-day because it's going to come through the mail, not a 3-day if it was on the door. But it's just going to say, you have until such and such date, 5 days, not including the weekends or any holidays. You have 5 days to go ahead and pay the back due amount, or just please leave the home clean, rent ready like you found it. However, let me tell you that this is only to protect our ass. This is so that we have it on file, and any time in the future we don't have to delay getting started with an eviction. And again, we don't want that. You're in the home. We don't want the home back. I mean, it's yours. You've been on time every month. So again, this is just to cover our ass. So now with the payment, though, we need some sort of good faith. My other partner, Rob, was saying 50%, but I went ahead and said, no, if you don't have the money, or let's just do 200. So between now and the 5th, which I think is, I didn't look at the calendar. Let me see, what's the 5th? Next Tuesday. By next Tuesday, if you can get, and let me know if this is going to be possible, to get of the amount that's due, the 200 into the bank, or 200 into the mail, of the full amount. And then I know you said 2 weeks to get everything paid, so we'll go ahead and extend that 2 weeks. If you can get the 200 in there by the 5th, and then the rest of the balance in there when you said about 2 weeks, well, from now, we're going to go ahead and waive any late fee, because that's not what we want. We want to be right by you, and we just want to protect ourselves. So you let me know if that will work. I'm not here to tell you what you can or can't do. You can obviously only pay what you can pay, but tell me your thoughts, please.
Yes, sir. Right now, unfortunately, I have $0. My checking account is at 3 cents.
Okay.
I don't know how I can come up with that money. I'll try to. I will try to. I never give up.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. It's not You've been great so far. So if you have to leave, you'll be a great recommendation. I can say that first and foremost. If you can't do the 200, unfortunately, that's we're happy to meet you very close to sort of what you're asking, but just time in the past has proven people's actions. So we don't have any ill will or animosity. If you can't pay it, don't stress out. But we are going to go ahead and we'll give you the 5-day notice. If it's not paid by then, it's not any hard feelings or anything like that. Again, we'll give you a good reference moving forward. So either we'll move with, nobody wants an eviction. So ideally you would just go ahead and amicably move on to the next chapter in your life. But I just want to be completely transparent and helpful as much as we can be, and we can wait for the balance of it. But we need some sort of good faith, just because of
yeah. I totally understand that. I do. I don't know if this makes a difference to you folks or not, but I have this is how my mind is just. I mean, this last month I haven't. Well, shit, I haven't slept a whole lot. But I do have I don't know if this makes a big deal or not, but I have a matching washer and dryer in here. And I know about 2.5 years ago I paid about $800 for the Fedro. And if I get evicted, I don't have nowhere to go, so I won't be able to take these things. And I do have a matching washer and dryer set. I don't know if that makes a difference if I just left them here for you folks to kind of cover that maybe 2 weeks or something. But, that's where my mind's thinking right now, because I went to a food pantry to get me some food because I didn't have no food.
So the two, let me go ahead and follow up with Rob. I do not. Let me find that out. So let me make sure that I understand this correctly. You'd like to be out by, give it the 14th, and then.
I don't want to be out. If I get this job, I'll.
Sure.
I'll pay what I have to.
Okay.
I don't want to be out.
Right.
Because I have nowhere to go. I'm not even looking at that right now, to be totally honest. I'm just trying to. I feel like I'm so close to getting this job.
Right.
And I don't care what job. Like, I have a friend of mine that works at Jack in the Box that's the manager. I'm trying to get him over there right now. I don't care what I have to do to make money. You know what I mean? Right now, and until I get it.
I can, the past is obviously the past. Not knowing I certainly would have been able, I maybe can think of one or two things. Yeah, I would have really liked to know this. We're not just here to just be kind of on the sidelines. If there's a situation like this in the future, we get past this one. Whenever there's an issue like this, please, as soon as I know you said you've been out of work for about 4.5 weeks. As soon as that there may be even on the horizon an issue, let us know. And we are, not just here to listen, but here to help if possible.
It's embarrassing enough to have to call your landlord to let him know what's going on.
No, bad things happen to good people. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. So that's nothing to do with you or your own fault. I mean, that's, but again, we are where we're at. Let me find out about the washer and dryer. Keep pursuing obviously you're not going to give up on that, whether, wherever you are, everyone has to pay the bills. So with that said, we will be getting, and I just wanted to let you know that, what that 5-day notice is for. When assuming that everything is going to move forward and we're going to figure this out and get through it together, you can just rip that up. So only if, worst comes to worst, then we'll be using. So anyway, I just wanted to cover, let you know there. But this certainly isn't, as far as ill will or, a negative remark or anything. We have nothing bad to say. So, I mean, bad things happen to good people. We just need to protect our own self. And try to give you, and just try to meet as much in the middle as possible. So that was where we.
I understand that. Yeah. I definitely understand that, and I appreciate any help. I get a paycheck, so on and so forth. That's why I was asking, because I feel like I'm right there with him. I was just on the phone with him again. I'm sure he's getting tired of me calling him. I'm hoping sooner or later, because the thing of it is, it's a family-owned business, and he has to run this by the owner all the time. So, I mean, I've been really hammering this guy now for like a week and a half. Let's get going, I would love to talk with the owner. Let's, let him know what I'm doing, whatever I got to do. It doesn't matter to me. It don't matter to me. I've just had, this last 4 to 5 weeks has been terrible. I've never ran into a situation where it's been this bad before, and it's very stressful. Jesus, it's stressful. I'm not going to give up, though. I'm just not going to give up. But if I cannot get things to work out the way I want them to, there's no way that I would let you guys hang out. That's why I should have called at the beginning, but I was embarrassed that I got laid off. I was embarrassed that I didn't have. I stuck $1,000 into my truck, and my truck, it runs but barely, and I know I can get to places where I need to, but it just seems like I'm getting kicked down right now. And frankly, it pisses me off, and I don't know why it's happening. I've never really been in a situation like this before, so I'm kind of freaking out, and I hate not being able to pay my bills. And I've called everybody to let everybody know today. Everything's due today. I mean, I had to call my phone company to get a 2-week extension. My internet company, so I can have the internet to be able to throw my resumes into wherever that I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've just been working my ass off trying to get a damn job. And
I didn't mean to cut you. This is only a temporary, this has no reflection on you. This is only a temporary situation in life. I can just statistically and logically. So this has nothing to do with you. It is just temporary. And we hope to be, ultimately time will tell, but you're pursuing every avenue that you know how. So I guess the biggest thing moving forward, the worst case scenario would be, no call, no show, or some sort of eviction or abandonment. We don't want that, nor neither do you. But we, just dealing with myself and Victor and the other two partners, they don't really understand. But you've been just so on time and so on point, and a pleasure to talk to the few times that we have talked. So there's just no. Oh yeah, and I'm not just saying that. So if we can work this out, great. Worst case scenario would be, again, just no call, no show, and we have to pursue legal means. But as long as, if there's some sort of good faith that you can put in, that you can go ahead and send, that would speak volumes. And then we can go ahead and work with you on the rest. Again, this you're not the first person. You won't be the last. But this is just for you yourself. This is just temporary. There's only going up from here. So.
Yes, I don't think I can go much bottom more. I couldn't deal with it. I don't want to go anymore. When I just want to get going again. I got to get, sooner or later I got to get a break. Somebody's got to, as far as this job goes. And I was telling Victor too that this is the part that kills me. 2 weeks ago, I got a job line in Pflugersville.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you know where Pflugersville is.
Oh, sure.
It was a great machinist job. It was a great machinist job. Ben, he's a human resource guy over there. He was awesome. Me and him talked for several days while I was trying to get my truck fixed. And this was a $25 an hour job. It was perfect what I wanted. Day shift. It was a day shift. It would have got me off nights. And I couldn't get to the job because of my truck, and that's the only vehicle I have. I couldn't get to it. And I'm thinking to myself, why did I let myself get into this situation to begin with? Why didn't I have another backup vehicle? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And I wasn't expecting no I have to try to figure out what's wrong with my truck, and three mechanics I had it, they couldn't get it figured out. And it's like, what? You know, I sometimes I wish I had $10,000 laying around, but I just don't. You know what I mean? I just don't. And it's you know, the stress level every day is went from, you know, waist high, now it's 6 foot over my head. I feel like I'm just getting buried, and I can't. Man, I'm trying to claw my way out of it. Holy cow!
Well, you know as well as I do, yeah. At this point, I mean, and just to, again, every day of our lives is temporary. We can always go, you know, we're always trying to progress. But any sort of income now, which I know you already said earlier in the call that, you know, you're looking at restaurants, or, you know, you're looking at places right in town, or, you know, close by in Holland, or towards the interstate. So that's, I would agree with you as well. Yeah, we just keep in touch. Please, you know, more news from you, and more updates are better than fewer.
I will.
And then ultimately, the next few days will sort of determine things. We're happy to, again, extend you that olive branch, but some sort of good faith is. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to repeat myself. So just let me know if you have any questions or concerns, or, you know, feel free to call myself, call Victor. You'll be getting that, I assume, in the 5 day, in the next day or two. But again, this isn't. Yeah, I mean, anything good, bad. Don't ever feel that anything that you say, you know, between us, it stays, you know, in this, you know, circle. So don't. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, John, and like I said, I will do my best. I promise you I will, to try to come up somehow. I don't know how I will, but I will do what I can. To try to get you good. I mean, I'm telling you, I will do what I can to try to get.
I believe, I 100% believe you.
And like I said, I don't know if these washers and dryers are a big deal to you folks. I don't know or not. You know, it's a whirlpool washer and dryer. I don't know if it's something that you guys might go for or not. I don't know. I know they're good. They're good units. They run good. Everything works good with them. I don't know if you guys will do something like that. I don't know, but I figured if I can't figure something out, if I can't get something going here, that I'll just let you guys know that I have to go. I do not. I'm the type of person. I don't know what I'll do. I'll live in my truck if I have to, but I don't want to outstay my welcome. I'm just kind of asking, you know, because I'm not being able to pay my bills.
Of course.
All I'm asking is just for a couple of weeks to try to see if I can get this guy over here and land this person. And, you know, and if it does work out, I'll call you right away. I'll let you know I finally got some work. I'll be back to work. You guys be the first money coming to you, you know.
Well, we can certainly cross that bridge when we get there, because if you do get employed, you'll have some sort of paperwork. We can verify. You can. Well, we'll have to cross that bridge. Depends on when it would be, and then if there's a good faith made. I mean, even if it's getting $50 or $100 into the bank, you know, that does speak volumes. Anyway, just keep in touch. You're never, you know, don't ever hesitate to call. So, either myself or Victor.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
no
I really
problem, Jeff.
appreciate it.
Of course. All right, I'll talk to you a little bit later.
Okay, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. I hope you got a lot of valuable content out of that. You have some more ideas of what to say now when this happens to you, and really understand what the whole point of that call is supposed to do. You get clarity. You set up a repayment plan. You set a date to that repayment plan. You let them know about the 3-day notice and the eviction process moving forward, and then you give them clarity on what's going to happen if they don't pay, down to the exact day. Even the fact that you're going to be calling them, you know, for the next couple days, probably every other day, until this 1 week or 2 week deadline that they set you know, this is when I think I'm going to get paid, this is when I know I'm going to get paid, this is when I'm going to have money. The date they've set, you're calling them every few days up to that point. Hey, did you get a new job? Hey, what's changed since the last time we talked? Hey, have you found a new place? Because again, this isn't an emotional call. It's a very logical call because we don't want to add any more burden to this tenant buyer or this renter's plate. We want to go ahead and be amicable with them so that they understand, listen, you can't pay, you can't stay, that's all right. Leave the home vacant, free and clear from all debris, broom swept, hand us the key and we'll give you, great reviews moving forward. If you ever get back on your feet or when you get back on your feet, you can call us again. We may have another home for you to rent or to buy. So with that said, I hope that made a lot of sense. An update to Jeffrey. Unfortunately, he was actually out by that 2-week deadline. He didn't get a new job. He wasn't able to pay. He did leave the washer and dryer. We're very happy for him for that. We were willing to give him another few days to be in the home, to take his time to move out. We were going to show the home while he was still in there. We ended up getting it rented again very quickly for actually a considerable amount more money per month. So it actually ended up working really well. We only had to miss sort of 1 month, the month that Jeffrey wasn't there, and then the next month we got somebody else in there. And of course we kept on Jeffrey's deposit because he had to leave so abruptly. So we were covered in all of this. But that is what happened. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get back on his feet. But with that said, completely sincere, where if he ever comes back, we have nothing but good things to say about him. And we'll probably end up giving him a chance again in the future if that were to ever come up. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope that made a lot of sense to you, added value to your investing career. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, you want to challenge anything I'm saying, or you do things a little bit differently, feel free to comment them below, like this video, share it with your friends if it's been helpful. And thank you so much again, John Fedro with mobilehomeinvesting.net. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.